Welcome back to the Emperor Atheist channel with your host, the Emperor Atheist. I'm doing this particular video. I've did a couple of videos today. Nice day on this November 12th, Saturday, man. This feels real nice down here. But I'm doing this particular video on subject matter. People ask me. People hit me in my inbox. People hit me everywhere, on Twitter, everywhere. And they ask, say, Emperor Atheist, what do you, or atheists, think about life after death, or death in itself? And so I said I'm gonna make a video on that, and I had kind of thought about making a video on that particular question some time ago anyway. So I'm not going to try to speak for all atheists. I'm going to speak for me. So I can speak for me, and I can speak for a few of the atheists that I know who we've had this particular dialogue before. So what do I, as an atheist, and maybe some that I know, think about death in itself and the afterlife? Well, I'll start with the afterlife. I'll start with the latter. As far as the afterlife, and I know there's a lot of different shades of meaning with the so-called afterlife. There's religious shades of meaning, and then there's different religions of how they believe the afterlife is going to be. You know, I guess the most modern day beliefs of the afterlife, well, basically dealing with the three Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Well, not particularly Judaism, but Christianity and Islam believe that, you know, body's going to pop up out the ground, I guess, and some angels going to grab them and take them to heaven. You know, just in a nutshell, they believe in that type of afterlife. So me myself, I reject that bullshit totally, and I think most atheists would reject that particular type of afterlife. Are you going to some heaven with this God of your particular book, and you're gonna like live for fucking ever? That seems very fucking boring, and I personally don't think I would want to do that anyway. And just, I don't know what you're gonna be doing all fucking day, every day. I don't know. I have no idea. But it just seems irrational. So that particular type of afterlife, we definitely reject. But then you have so-called spiritualists, which some of them are like religious fruitcakes. Honestly, you have a lot of them within the black community too, so-called black conscious community, and a lot of the things they believe are basically borderline retardation too. But I can talk more with the so-called spiritualists than I can a religious fruitcake. But and there are some spiritualists, so people who claim spiritual, you know, they speak with a lot of common sense and rationality. But you know, like I said, some spiritual, they believe in this energy. They believe that when we die, or we turn back into energy, which is true. And but for the most part, scientifically speaking, I very seriously doubt that energy would be conscious. In other words, when we die, I very seriously doubt that we floating around as energy again, and just knowing who the fuck we are as energy. So I think that's kind of overboard bullshit, basically. So basically, afterlife, and whatever definition that these people give it, whether they're Christians, Muslims, spiritualists, whatever they want to call themselves, you know, we reject it. We just flat out reject it. The Buddhists, you know, some of the Eastern or Orientalist teachings teach about, you know, like reincarnation, maybe coming back as a butterfly, or you've been here before, you know, things like this. Those who are familiar with these particular teachings, and you know, they're nice teachings, but I reject it. I don't believe it. I don't think I used to be a turtle or no shit like that, and then came back. Or I don't think I'd be a goddamn turtle in the next life. If anything, I'll be a goddamn lion. You know what I mean? Trying to goddamn chew up you motherfuckers coming over there trying to put me in a fucking zoo. You know what I'm saying? Kid, and bite your goddamn head off in front of your kids. That's about all I would be in the next life if I was going to be something. But I think that's, you know, basically bullshit too, because, I mean, like, if you was a turtle in your last life, like, you didn't fucking know it, like, could you just wake up one day and say, yeah, I actually remember when I was on the pond drinking water, I was a fucking turtle on a leaf, eating leaves. I mean, come on. Oh, I used to be a mosquito, and I landed on this motherfucker's neck. I remember this shit, and he just splat me and killed me. Like, really? I mean, so I think that's kind of like some borderline crazy shit too. So, you know, atheists, we don't really think much of the afterlife, especially the Christian Judeo-Islamic version of the afterlife. I mean, we reject that flat out. I think that's bullshit. Okay, but like I say, you have other versions of the afterlife. So, you know, for the most part, we reject that. But as far as our feeling of death itself, death is a part of this whole thing that we call life, and we can't be here forever. And speaking for myself, I have no fear of it. But you know, it's like some people tend to think, man, it's got to be something, because it's like you atheists, y'all just believe that when you die, it's like nothing else. You'll never wake up again. You never get to see your parents or grandparents again. But you know, if you believe in Jesus or you believe in Allah, you might at least have a chance. I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with Pascal's wager, but Pascal's wager was dealing with why not believe, because if you don't believe, you're taking in other words, believe in God. And why not believe in God? Because if you don't believe in God, then you're taking the chance of going to some hellfire being punished. But just say, hey, why not believe? Because if it's not true, then it's no big deal. You lose nothing. That's called Pascal's wager. But what I do, I reverse Pascal's wager to the believers. I say, well, what if you do all this all your life, and then he's not there? He's not real. It's a waste of time either way it go. So I just reverse Pascal's wager when people try to use that particular philosophical redundant idea for why you should believe in some God or some deity. But yeah, as far as death, I don't fear it. It's a part of life. It's part of life process. And like I say, a lot of people can't get around the idea of just not being here. But I tell them, and I tell people this all the time. And Sam Harris spoke about this in one of his lectures a couple of years ago. You got to think about this. Humans have been here maybe millions of years, or hundreds of thousands of years at least. Millions of years as far as us finding hominids. But you got to think about this. All of this time, and the earth is at least 4 billion years old. So you got to think, all this time before you was born, it didn't matter. You had no idea who you were. You wasn't in pain. You wasn't like in some type of goddamn bubble somewhere waiting to be born when you were born. So it's like you didn't feel anything. It was irrelevant that you wasn't here for all of the thousands and thousands of years that you just wasn't here. So what difference does it make after you're gone? And that's how we view it. And it's like when you're gone, you're gone. It's so much time. And just think about this. Average person maybe dies around 60, 70 years old now. I think it's went up according to certain ethnic groups. Age just went up amongst women and men. But just think about this. Average person maybe 70 years old. 70 years old compared to how long Earth has been in existence. 4 billion years old. Or even compare it to the time that anthropology and biology says that human life has been around. Millions of years, or 100, 200,000 years. Your 70 years on this Earth, your average lifespan on this Earth is like not even a drop in the bucket to how long humans have been here. So your time from your birth until your death is like almost kind of like irrelevant. You know what I mean? So you should live your life to the fullest. Stop worrying about things like when what's going to happen when you die, or when I die. And now I'm talking to atheists too, because there are some atheists who have a gloomy feeling about it, and a lot of them don't talk about it. But they do reject the religions that they grew up with, but now they feel a certain way about death. And you shouldn't feel that way, because you got to think about all the time that you wasn't here. And it was no big deal. You wasn't happy, you wasn't sad, you wasn't suffering. So it'll be the same thing. You're just not going to be here. You're going to cease to exist. But while you're here, leave something. Write a book, write an autobiography, do something good for people. Do something good for your children. Do something good for your family. Let your memory ride on. We got videos now. Hopefully, another 100, 200 years, somebody will still know who you are. You know what I mean? So just do something good on this life to keep your name around. If you're worrying about people forgetting you or family forgetting you, do something good. And hey, that's my word for that, on death and on the afterlife. And that's how I feel about the situation. And God being in the equation or not being in the equation really doesn't matter about it, because that doesn't change my view on that. But that's my take on that. I'm your host, the Emperor Atheist. Thanks for liking my videos, sharing my videos. Keep tuning in and keep doing y'all thing, man. Peace out, Emperor Atheist.